So when do you find it to be valuable to set up a structure like this with your conversion rates? Because like really early days, you know, I mean, it's kind of like the Wild West. You're just trying to get as many people as possible, and you don't really have solid data to back up, you know, where the conversion rates are and in what part of the cycle. So, I mean, how long did it take you to sort of get this structure, and what would your advice be in terms of a startup, early days, working towards a structure like this? Like, what would be the timeline for something, like within the first year, or like?
So my answer here will be day one. We didn't do it like that. We didn't have this amazing talk to taught us how to do it. Now, but it's day one. We did it a year later, a year and a half. We have like 3 years now, and we did it a year and a half later. But it was an entire change of, instead of chasing the money, chasing the metrics, and it's true.
And the difference it creates is, like, it's a different business after you start working with these metrics. Basically, like, we, in the first 3 months of this year, since we implemented this methodology, we've already closed sales equivalent to all the sales of last year. So it has to do with the level of development in our product as well. So we're much better prepared to scale and to go sell and actually implement. But if you're not thinking about stuff like this from day one, then you're not focusing on the correct side of the equation, which is creating those meetings that will get you to validate the product that you're building. You don't want to spend eight months or a year and a half developing a product and not showing it to the people that might want to buy it. So our suggestion would be, get this done as soon as possible. If you don't have the data, just make a reasonable assumption and try to go for it.
Assumptions, always.
How does so you have a number of impressions there. I mean, do you count impressions? Like, how do you count impressions for sort of like digital campaigns, like when you're talking about Facebook or Instagram? Like, is it per post or?
Yeah, so that's my next part of the talk. So does anyone have a question here? Anyone else? Okay, but I'm gonna answer you.
I don't know if you're gonna talk about this later, but how do you translate these metrics into compensation for your team? Or, I mean, one thing is when you're doing the sell, and then how do you put all the qualifications, boundaries into when you're gonna delegate that task?
So I'm gonna tell you how we do it. There is 1,000 ways to do it. The framework that I used, it was simplicity. I didn't want to be spending a day like calculating how much should everyone get. So I made it super simple. And the agreement that we have is, so we have a percentage of the sales, and within that percentage, another percentage go to the sales guy, the one who chased and created the sale. By creating the sale, I mean the one who started this. So the guy, the seller who does all this, get a percentage. Okay. Then another percentage goes to people outside the sales team, programmers, Felipe, etc., etc., etc. And that one, we don't pay it monthly, we pay it once a year. Okay? And then another percentage, so it's divided in 3, goes to the rest of the sales team. Not to the guy who closes the sales, but to his peer. Okay? And I think that way you collaborate a lot and you help. And then there is a referral fee also. If someone gives you, it can be within RankMe or outside RankMe. If someone gives us a lead, basically a cold email or referral, or someone they know, they also get a percentage. So within the company, someone could go and say, hey, I met yesterday with this guy and he's super interested. Could you contact him? And then if we the sales team, we do all this, we get our percentage, the other person gets percentage as well. There's 1,000 ways of doing this. My only recommendation will be simplicity and being super straightforward with the guy who is receiving the commission. That it's on paper, that he knows what the percentage is, and be super transparent about it. Was it a good answer? Anyone else? So what I'm going to show you now is the way we track this, and this is actually our CRM. We use